Shipping Manager versus TransOcean2 Rivals. I've played both of these games, more so TransOcean2 Rivals and the original TransOcean. And each has advantages and disadvantages, and I'm going to go through that. I would like to start by saying that Shipping Manager is free and TransOcean2 was a lot more fun. So we'll start with Shipping Manager. Free, it's very casual. You can play in the background. You don't have to give it a lot of attention. You don't have to play every day. It's always playing. It's a real-time gameplay. If you're not playing, the other players are playing. It doesn't really impact too much. So there's no pause button. Works on cell phones. Simple fleet operation. You buy a boat, you assign it a route, tell it to set sail. Turns don't take much longer as the fleet grows. What that means is as you get large numbers of ships, hundreds of ships, it doesn't take much longer to play the game. You still depart them all relatively quickly. With TransOcean2, it's different. TransOcean2 is a turn-based game. So as you get hundreds of ships, it takes a long time to take one turn, so the game starts to slow down. The game continues playing when you are logged off. So when you depart your ships, you can sit there and watch them go to their destinations, but it's more likely that you're going to go do something else, wait for them all to arrive, and then go and do your maintenance and depart them again. So the game is always playing. There's no pause button. The cons for Shipping Manager, poor graphics. You could argue that's a good thing. It's a simple graphic game, which means it's going to be good for cell phones, and it's going to be good for slower computers, including laptops or older computers. There's limitations to the fleet size. I believe you can only have 20 cargo ships when you start the game. Cannot select cargo contracts. It's not a trading game. You don't go in and look at a bunch of contracts and say, I'm going to take this one because I think I can make more money with it. You just deliver cargo and that's it. Always running the same routes. When you book a ship on a route, it's going to keep running that same route until you assign another route. TransOcean2 is different. It's contract-based. You could do it that way, or you could do one contract which has one route, and you just keep changing routes. TransOcean2 Rivals, pros, better graphics, way better graphics, better gameplay, more challenging. It's turn-based, which means that every ship has to move every turn. So you might manually make some of the movements and some of them might happen automatically. If you look at the map, the maps for the two games are similar. With Shipping Manager, it's just a basic map, and with TransOcean, it's colorized, and it has shows like desert, for example. But basically, the maps are the same. It's just a map with boats on. TransOcean2 has more depth. There was a feature about docking. You could manually dock or automatically dock. You can look at all your vessels. There's a lot of upgrade options. Shipping Manager has fewer upgrade options. It's fun to look at the boats sometimes and to give them cool names and to read through all the contracts. And you read through all the statistical menus a lot more often because you really want to go through and read everything. With Shipping Manager, you just do it to buy fuel or something, but it's not like you want to look at any of that information. There's fewer in-game limitations such as fleet size. I never reached a fleet size. It never said you can't buy another ship. Always looking for new routes, which adds to the challenge. Video games are about decision making. Looking for new routes means you're making decisions. You're going to look at how much money it is, how safe it is, what vessel you have, whether the vessel can handle it. Shipping Manager doesn't do that. It's just depart, come back the next day. Depart, come back the next day. It ships all the cargo. And there's only two types of cargo, and you only start out with one, regular cargo. The second type is fuel. I believe TransOcean2 has 5 different types of cargo, which means you have to have 5 different types of ships, and you have to have the right ship on the right route. So you might see a contract you want, you got to find a ship that can handle it, and then you got to send that ship to the right port to get the contract. Also, I believe that TransOcean2 has time limits where it'll say you got to deliver it in a certain amount of turns, or you don't get the money, or you get penalized. And often I wasn't able to complete it, but Shipping Manager doesn't have that aspect. TransOcean2 rival cons. Game slows down as your fleet grows because each turn takes longer. Because you're sitting there saying, I want this ship to go here, this ship to go there, this ship to go there, and you got to do it for each ship except for the ones that are on an automatic route. And it takes so long that when you buy a new ship, a used ship, and you do the repairs immediately, it could be a long time, like hours or days before you can set sail because of all the turns you got to take. No cell phone option with TransOcean rivals. I think that TransOcean2 is a better game. I purchased it. I thought it looked really cool. I do play Shipping Manager. It's free. The good thing about Shipping Manager, you really don't have to pay attention. You can kind of forget about what's going on. With TransOcean2, you got to pay more attention. If you forget what's going on, you're going to lose track of your ships. You got to do a lot more work keeping track. Where is this ship? Where is it going? Because you don't want to do something like, say, I got to send this ship to there. It's going to take 20 turns. It's going to take 6 hours of gameplay. And then when it gets there, you forget why you brought it there. That type of thing can happen with TransOcean2. You got to pay more attention to what's going on. And if you stop playing for a long time, you're really going to lose track of the game. If you have any questions, you can go to my forum at cheapbooks.cc. Look under Transportation Management Games. And you can see I have a lot of games here. And I have different guides and tips about playing transportation management games. There is Shipping Manager and TransOcean2. There's also Port Royale, which is a trading game where you buy a good and you bring it to another port and you sell the good. Not an aspect of Shipping Manager, but if you like trading, the buying and selling, buying a building, and also buy buildings in TransOcean2, like your headquarters, for example, then you might want to consider that also. And the other games are not exclusively cargo vessels or seafaring games. We're not going to talk about them. I highly recommend, if you're going to buy a game, TransOcean2 Rivals or Port Royale, I'd say go with either. TransOcean2, definitely, I spent a lot of time with it. And I would say Shipping Manager, because it's free, you might have to install Airline Manager 4 to get it running. But because it's free and it's very casual, you might be interested in that game also. I am the owner of cheapbooks.com, which is right here, which is a website for searching for books and textbooks. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.